Okay, now I hope you have my voice and then you see my screen. As said, what is needed to enter the championship? It's needed to have 2025 ORC international certificates, which shall be issued no later than 18 July 25. The CDL shall be between 8 and 16.4, and flotation date not earlier than 25 July 2020. At this moment, there are several boats that do not have a certificate, 2025 certificate. These boats are listed here. If your boat is on this list, please be sure to have your certificate issued by 18 of July. After 18 of July, certificates updates are allowed only as a result of the pre-race equipment inspection, and if you find something that some sales need to be added or corrected or any corrections, or if there is completely, let's say, new boat that requires for the first time certificate, then if we get the request from the relevant rating office, we need to receive such a request, and we can then also approve it. But in general, please be sure that you have your 2025 certificates issued by 18 of July. Even if you have some sales that are coming in very last moment, please be sure that you have a certificate, and then we can update this sale or do small changes and corrections during the pre-race equipment inspection. Out of this, there is also boat under name Ivana and Alex that currently has only ORC club certificate. So again, if there is anyone of this boat present, please be sure to have your ORC international fully measured certificate.
Please interrupt you.
Yes.
We have three people that raised their hands. I'm not sure if it's related to this, but there is Andre.
Okay.
Azevedo.
Please go on.
Question, Andre?
No?
Yeah. I just raised my hand because you said the flotation not before the 25th. Does it mean free boards that we have to give the free boards?
Yes. So your flotation date, meaning the inclining test and freeboards measurement, shall not be older than 5 years. If you did this,
5 years.
Yes. This is defined by the notice of race.
No, because can you put back some slides, because flotation 2020. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2025.
No, 2025 is issuing date for certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. Other question?
Unless Andre has something to say. No more questions.
No, thank you. So we can continue.
On the second, Piero.
Good morning.
Hi,
Sorry. I think when I scribed, I misunderstood something. There are two dates on the certificate: measurement and flotation.
Yes.
For my certificate, they are different. I have a measurement date later than 2020, and maybe flotation earlier. So which one rules?
So flotation date is on the certificate under the stability and freeboards and stability. And
Okay,
this is
so
the date.
flotation date rules.
Flotation date rules.
Not measurement date.
Yes, and cannot be earlier than 25 July 2020.
Thank you.
Which is your flotation date?
2018.
And then you need to remeasure the freeboards and stability.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So as said, these are the certificates that are missing the 25 international certificates. And then there is some on the current entry list on the web. There are some boats that are in different classes for there should be. So there was notice of race defining how the classes will be defined, and it is following the ORC Green Book rules and regulations. And this here is a list of boats that are in different classes. Maybe this is because there is no last certificates. There could be, update of the certificates before 18th of July. But just for your information, the classes will be defined by CDL, and at the moment when we close all the checks and when we have final version of certificates, based on this, the boats will be assigned to the classes, regardless what is now printed on the website. Or even if you are on this boat and if you are planning to enter Class C and in fact you are Class B, please check your certificate and please be sure that your CDL is within this limit that is printed here, because this is what defines how the boats will be defined in the classes, regardless of what is currently written on the event website. Then, as mentioned, here are several boats that are do not have flotation date after 25. So these boats will need to get the freeboards and stability remeasured. If your boat, obviously one was in the question before, if your boat is on this list, please be sure that you have your boat remeasured with flotation and stability. What is still need to enter the championship? First of all your sails shall be measured. This means all sails, main sails, head sail set on the forestay, head sail set flying, symmetric and symmetric spinnaker, shall be measured according to the IMS rule and shall have measurement stamp with all the measurements clearly readable. In addition, storm and heavy weather sails also shall be measured with the stamp and measurement with the area written. And any sail without a measurement stamp or measurements clearly readable will be needed to be measured at the venue, and with appropriate measurement fees will be charged. So be sure, check your sails, that on the head of your sail you have the sticker, you have the measurements that can be read, and that the numbers that you have on the sails are matching with your certificate. So we will be checking all the sails, and if you don't have anything, we will need to remeasure it and to charge it. It is easier if you do your homework, review all the sails, check I have all the sails measured, that is a measurement that I can read. If not, you can ask any measurer to do this before, but if you come without, we will need to remeasure the sail at the venue.
Zoran, there is a question from Mojo.
Thank you. Go on, Mojo.
You are muted, Mojo. You're still muted.
No.
Does anyone hear Mojo? No.
No.
No, he's muted.
Mojo.
Can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, sorry. Hello, everyone. I have a question about the storm jib and the three sail. I have some measurements on them, but there are, I think, 10 years ago. Is there a problem if there are the measurements are old?
No, it is not a problem as long as the measurements that are required by the special regulations are there. So for the trysail, we need the leach and tack to leach dimension. For the storm jib or heavy weather jib, we need HHW, HLU, and HLP, and we need the area to be printed because we need to understand if your sails are matching the requirement for the minimum area. So if you have these measurements measured and recorded on the sails, then it's okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think you already answered, but just to be sure, the staysail also needs to be measured.
Yes, everything, basically every sail that you have on the boat shall be measured.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we will do the pre-race equipment inspection on Saturday and Sunday on 26 and 27 from 9 to 1 o'clock, and for 3 o'clock out to 8 o'clock in the evening, and on Monday only in the morning. Online scheduling system is already active. I would say that out of 120, almost 100 boats is already recorded. The boats that are still not to be registered are here, they are listed, so please be sure that your boat. Originally, the system is called Doodle. is the online system for scheduling. Original email was sent to the email that you are registered to the regatta. There was invitation to go and select your measurement slot. After that, I think probably 1 week, we have also sent the individual email directly from me with the link how to select your slot. So when you receive this link, you go to that system and you simply click on the time when you want to have your pre-race equipment inspection. Basically, those are the slots of 50 minutes, every 50 minutes, and you can select when you want. So up to now, these are the only boats that are missing. And the moment when we complete this, then the final scheduling list will be published on the website, so everyone will know when they will be inspected.
There is a question from Luis Martinez.
Yes.
No, it's just is it the area shown in the sticker of the sail is just for trysail and storm jib?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. So coming back, I'm again showing this picture for those who are not, yet registered. Please check your emails. You should have received either from Doodle or directly from me a link where you can select your slot for the check. So when you select your slot, please both shall be at her designated berth. We will know from the organizing authority where the boats are moored. Be ready at the scheduled time with a responsible person, owner, and/or skipper. Present all sails with the corner taken out from the bag showing the ORC measurement stop. Make a clear decision which sails you want to use during the championship and have all safety equipment ready for inspection. So when I said make the all sails you want to use during the championship, the maximum number of sails used at the event is defined as ORC Rule 206.1. So these are according to the CDL limits, basically class 0 ABC. In class 0, you can have, for example, 6 spinnakers, in class A, 5, in class B, 5, and the 4 spinnakers. So you may have come to an event with 10 spinnakers, but only 6 you may use during this event. On the event that you are selecting, you will get the event measurement sticker, and then only sails marked with an event sticker may be on board during the event. Sails carried on board may vary from day to day, but shall remain the same for each race day, including days with multiple races, even in the case of damage to sails. So basically, you don't need to have all the sails that you selected every day, but when you go out on the race day, the sails that you took on the boat are the sails that you are using. So, for example, you are allowed to have 2 mainsails. If you leave 1 mainsail ashore, you cannot use that mainsail on that day. So it's up to you to decide which sails you will use and which sails you will use each day. Sails damaged during the event may be repaired. Sails beyond repair may be replaced with the permission of the technical committee. So if you damage the sail beyond repair, if you rip off completely 1 spinnaker, you have to present it to us. If this cannot be repaired, we can allow you to use replacement for that spinnaker, for example. Then, during the pre-race inspection, we are checking internal ballast. If there is any, weight and position will be checked. Obviously, it needs to be recorded in measurement inventory of your certificates. What is important that internal ballast shall be properly fixed below the cabin sole or as low as possible, fixed to the hull structure to prevent movement. Please, again, so the permanently fixed, meaning that literally cannot be moved without any removing the way how it's fixed to the structure. So it means that either it needs to be, fixed with some Sikaflex, with some fixed screw, with some fixed bolts, that cannot be moved during racing. So this is important, and it's important that it's fixed as low as possible. Crew weight is not part of the pre-race equipment check inspections. So we will not. We have 120 boats. It's probably impossible to have all the boats weighted and all the crew weighted before inspection. However, there will be official scale for your own check. You can always check. Crew weight may be and will be checked during the post-race equipment inspection, which I will explain later. And if it is found greater than the maximum or smaller than the minimum recorded on the certificate, technical committee will protest the boat. Please remember that crew weight is something that you are declaring. So you can always declare sufficient crew weight to be on the safe side, regardless of comparing with the actual weight of your crew on the boat. So if, for example, your crew in total has 700 kilos, if you are declaring 710 or 715, you will be, in accordance with your certificate. If you want to play and declare exactly 700, and then you come and be checked after the race, then you will have a problem. And the problem in the sense that the technical committee will protest the boat, and any excess in the crew weight is not a question of recalculating certificate and trying to understand the rating difference. It's simply the penalty can be disqualification. So I really urge you to try to double check your crew weight and to declare it and to be on the safe side with a sufficient margin, not to be over your crew weight recorded in a certificate.
So there is Pablo would like to
Go on.
say something.
Hey, hello.
Yes.
Quick one. It is necessary to update the crew list if there's any change, or if somebody decides, for example, to jump off. One day is light wind, so instead of 10, we will race with 9. Is necessary to update the crew list?
Yes. The good question. By the notice of race, when registering the crew list, every boat shall register the people who will be on a boat on race 1, on the first race. After that, any crew changes, which mean disembarking crew member, adding crew member, or replacing crew member, needs to be requested by the organizer. And I have in one of the following slides will also explain. Any change will automatically be approved, providing that the crew weight, what is important, that the crew weight after any change, adding, removing or replacing members, the crew always needs to be within the minimum and maximum recorded on the certificate. So if you know, for example, that you will start race day 1 with less crew, and then for some reason there is one person who will join who will not make the long offshore race, then the offshore race, then you need to know that in any moment it is your crew weight that needs to be within the minimum and maximum. So I will go. The next thing is the safety equipment list. So this race is category 3 for the offshore special regulation, and I will go through briefly to all the items required on the event website, and basically on the racing rules of sailing application that will also be used. You can find the safety equipment checklist, which is, let me see if you can see it. So this is the document that you can find. And my very easy recommendation is simply, please download this document, go and do exactly what we are doing as a technical committee. Go and make the check of all the items required. this is quite easy. On the first page, you have the checkbox and on the pages 2 to 4, for each of these, you have a picture and a short explanation. So I think if you simply follow this, you will, make yourself life easier, and frankly, to us as well. It is not so complicated. You simply go and check, I have this, I have this, I have this. And if there is anything that is missing, you can always send an email and clarification to understand. For that reason, I will also now go through this list just to explain you the usual items that people are asking and sometimes have some doubts. So starting from this, it's navigation lights. You need to have it mounted above shear line so they will not be masked by the sails or heeling of the boat. You need reserve or spare lights having the same specification and that can be powered independently. Spare bulbs are not required. If you have your LED, then the spare bulbs are not required. Next item is marine VHF transceiver. So you need obviously to have one marine VHF transceiver, minimum output power 25 watt, and masthead antenna and coaxial feeder cable with not more than 40% power loss. There is also additionally a handheld transceiver that needs to be stowed in a grab bag or emergency container. I will come back later also on the picture on the question of the grab bag and the emergency container. You need to have AIS responder. Sorry, I think there is a question. Matteo, can you please read me?
No question. When must the safety equipment form be submitted if there is a deadline?
No, no one needs to submit any form. This form is just for your check, and this form will be checked by the technical committee members during the inspection. So there is no need to submit any form. You can only use this form to control and to understand. There's another question.
So we have ORC3 CAT only for the offshore race, and there's a CAT 4 for the rest of the races.
No, category 3 for all the races. Category 3 is for all the races. That's how it is defined in the notice of race. AIS transponder needs to share, which either shares the masthead VHF antenna or has dedicated AIS antenna. And both AIS shall be active from the first day of equipment inspection until the end of the event. Sometimes this also helps us to locate the boat, but it's also the safety issue that we have AIS active so that other boats can see you, and that if needed, also the race committee can know where the boats are. You need soft tapered wood plugs, stowed adjusted to every through-hole opening. Fire extinguisher, a fire blanket is needed adjusted to every cooking device with an open flame. And then you need 2 fire extinguishers, each of 2 kilos of dry powder equivalent in different parts of the boat, and obviously should be inspected with the expiration date. Then a flashlight and searching light. A searchlight is suitable for searching for a person overboard at night and for a collision avoidance. And watertight flashlight shall be stowed in the grab bag or emergency container. Then spare batteries and bulbs for both. Again, I will come back to the grab bag to make it clear what it needs to be in the grab bag. First aid manual and first aid kit. You need a foghorn, a rigging cutter, and a knife. Rigging cutter means that something that have effective means to quickly disconnect or sever the standing rigging from the boat. In a case of boats with fiber rigging, you may have a special sword or tool that can cut the fiber rigging. But otherwise, you simply need to have something that is that needs to cut your rig in the case of mast is falling down. Radar reflector can be passive radar reflector with octaedral circular plates or non-octaedral with a documented route main square. Basically, also on that document that I was showing before, you also can find this detailed explanation. So if you have any doubts, please just follow this. Charts and compass, and also it's important to say that rules require not solely electronic charts. I know that many of you and many of us are nowadays using all the different electronic devices such as computer, iPad, iPhone, but still navigational charts maps are in a paper format are required. And in addition, permanently installed marine magnetic compass and second compass, which may be handheld or electronic. For the pyrotechnics, the total is needed 4 red hand flags and 2 orange smoke flares. Again, in addition to that, there is something needed in the greenback. But let's say this is the basic, the first amount of pyrotechnics that you always need. It's 4 red flares and 2 orange smoke flares, and of course, not older than stamped expiry date. Two strong buckets, each with lanyard and at least 9-liter capacity, permanently installed manual bilge pump. All required permanently installed bilge pumps shall be operable with all cockpit seats, and all removable bilge pump handles retained by a lanyard. Anchors, this is the usual question that people are asking. So the rule requires the anchor, the weight and the amount of the chain and the rope appropriate to the size of the boat. So you need 2 unmodified anchors that meet the anchors manufacturer, and with the suitable combination of chain and rope ready for immediate assembly and ready for deployment within the 5 minutes. So this is the question. And the question is how many kilos the anchor should be. I think that the inspector, whoever come to the boat, shall ask himself, okay, would I use such an anchor on such a boat? So you cannot come with on a 50-footer with a 5-kilo anchors without any chain. But on the other hand, you need to show that you have a decent amount of chain and combination of rope, and what is important, that is ready to be deployment within the 5 minutes. So we do not want to have anchor on the bow, chain in the aft cabin, and rope on the third place.
Sorry, Zoran, Pablo
Yes.
would like to ask something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matteo. Zoran, sorry, in the previous slide of the bilge pump, I think it's important to remind the people that in the bilge pump on the photo, the handle is included on the pump, but there are many that they need to be with a lanyard attached to the boat. Just to remind that, because when we do inspection, we found many boats with the handle in free, So I think it's important if you point this out. Thank you.
Yes, this was my last comment here on this, that all removable bilge pump handles.
I didn't hear, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, Zoran, there's a question from Gonzalo. Can a boat sail on day 1 with 2 spinnakers and 3 jibs, and on day 3 with 5 jibs and 5 spinnakers?
Yes, as long as these are all the sails that are within the maximum allowed for the class. And so coming back for what I was explaining before, all the sails shall have the event stamp, and every day it's to the owner to decide. But once you go out with these sails, you cannot go back ashore, or you cannot even have a rib or a chase boat or something bringing your sails. So if you decide to go with less sails on one day, these are the sails for the day. I hope that answers. Any other question? I think was something. Someone.
Yes, there is one in chat, and after there is Nico Hoss. But the one in chat, I don't know the name, but it goes for EDS, and it's complaining about the fact that there are some items in the safety that are duplicated, like floating ring lights to anchors. A bit complaining about the fact that they have to spend on quite a bit of money for all the equipment. I don't know if you
I'm
want to
sorry.
address this.
Yeah, I mean the answer to this is what the special regulations are requiring. It's not,
And I have Nico would like to ask something.
Yeah, I would be interested in the definition of a suitable combination of chain and rope, because at former championships, some competitors told me that a chain of 5, what's the term?
diameter or
A very small chain. Let's phrase it like this: a chain of 10 centimeters is enough. Why is there no clear definition? The chain must be 2 meters and the rope must be 20 meters. Why isn't that possible?
Because it depends on the size of the boat. I mean, yes. And speaking about this, just to tell you, I am currently in Helsinki at a double-handed European Championship, and I'm telling you that we just had discussions like this, and we will probably as ORC make some submission to the World Sailing to clarify a couple of these things, including these things for anchor. I'm also aware that sometimes it's probably not so easy to define. Because we have the boats that are, I don't know, starting from 8 meters to 24 meters. And then obviously you may probably rely weight and length of the anchor to the size of the boat, but I'm not 100% sure which the formula should be. Currently, rule says
now would be the right time to define it, because now we are all here.
Yes, but
you could publish some examples. So, for example, a 10-meter boat needs a 2-meter chain, for example, and the 15-meter boat needs.
I think that we were thinking about something like 1 kilo per meter of the boat, or something like this, briefly. But at this moment, we need to follow the rules as they are written. I mean, we can make submission and then have this updated in the next rule version. I think that we, as the technical committee, we will probably simply use some common sense and trying to understand what is the appropriate size of the boat. And we have been doing this before. And again, if someone on a 40-footer come with a 5 kilo anchor and some small chain, then we'll probably say this is not enough. But on the other hand, we will definitely not require you to have 100-meter chain on such a boat.
And can we expect that every measurer which is on site decides the same? So
yes,
that's a fair competition. Okay.
Yes, and then we will probably have this policy defined on the first meeting on the technical committee before we actually start inspection, and we will have the common position on this side.
Okay.
There are more questions, Matteo. I briefly saw that there's some comments in the chat. I don't know.
No, nothing about the suitable length of line, saying that Palma Bay is very deep, especially on course C.
I mean, it's I mean, again, anything that is related to the chain will be kind of common sense. We will. This is the way how we will address it. Life jackets. These are the two important things. So each crew member shall have a life jacket which shall have an emergency position indicating light, whistle, lifting loop, automatic manual gas inflation system. Shall be clearly marked with the boat's or wearer's name, have a spray hood in accordance with ISO 12402, and both shall carry at least one gas inflatable life jacket per cylinder, and if appropriate, spare activation head for each type of life jackets on board. Please be sure to check that you have proper life jackets. And as a general, these are some guidelines and quick explanation. If you have any doubts and if you want to see the details, please double check the special regulations itself. So there are some questions. Okay, going.
Yes, Julian, he said that he has a normal life jacket ISO 12401, but not the inflate type.
No, I'm afraid that there should be for 12402 and shall be inflated type. It is not needed to be inflated. Okay, if you really want, just not to lose time, please send an email. My email is zoran@orc.org, and I can then answer specific question because I need to understand exactly what it is, and then I can tell you if it's good or not. Anyone else? No questions. Tethers. This is a never-ending story on every championship, and this is what I was just telling, that we will probably make submissions to make the rules more clear. Anyway, to make it 100%, clear, or as much as we can, the tether, the length of the tether. So we have two versions: 2-point tethers and 3-point tethers. 2-point like this, like one on the left. The length from including the hooks shall not be more than 1 meter. That's the clear. If you have the one with the 3 points, the length between two hooks can be 2 meters, but then you need to have intermediate one. So the tethers shall have self-closing hooks, have overload indicator flag embedded in the stitching, and be manufactured after 2000. We also have found here that some type of the life jackets, like this spin lock system, actually have the release system on the harness itself. So you may have the tethers that on the one hand can have a hook, and on the other hand is just a tether that is attached to the harness, but the harness has release system. This would be acceptable only if it is clearly that it can be released from the harness. Otherwise, they need to have self-closing hooks. So 1 meter single one, 2 meters can be the 3-point with intermediate point for all crew members. Grab bag, as I was mentioning before. So the grab bag shall have watertight handheld marine VHF, as mentioned before. Watertight flashlight with a spare batteries and bulb, as mentioned before. Now, 3 hand flares in addition to already pyrotechnics 4 required. Watertight strobe light with the spare batteries, a knife in addition to one already required in the cockpit. There are some things that are already required by the rule, and some things that are in addition, that are only specific for the grab bag. Again, we will probably make submission, and just to make this more clear and more easier for everyone to understand. A life buoy is needed with self-igniting light, a whistle, and a drog within the reach of the helmsman and ready for immediate use. Heaving line not less than in diameter and the length as described. Recovery sling is needed to pick up the boat, the main from the water. You need buoyant line of length not less than short of 4 times LOA. Buoyancy section of not less than 90 Newton, and minimum strake cable to hoist a crew member aboard. Lifelines. So lifelines needs to be of stainless steel wire. All lifelines, including those on transom, needs to be of the stainless steel. Dyneema lifelines are not allowed in category 3. This is sometimes that people are, missing and believing that, can I have it on the transom? Unfortunately, no. I mean, this is the rule, how it says. The lifeline shall be taught, shall be, if we measure the deflection, there should be, if you apply 4 kilos on the middle between the two stations, 50 millimeters for upper or single, and 120 for an intermediate lifeline. The only thing you can have lanyard on synthetic rope may be used to secure lifelines, provided the gap is not exceeding 100 millimeters at the beginning or on the end of the lifeline system. Also, be sure that the maximum spacing between the stations is 2.2 meters, and on the boats with very wide transom, you may need to have mid station on the transom also. And also on the boats with very high transom, you may need to have not just 2, even 3rd lifeline on the transom. But on the lifeline, again, what is most important is that dynama is not allowed in lifeline. Jack stays shall be independent on each side of the deck, enable crew member to move readily between the working areas, have braking strength of minimum 2040 kilos, and be uncoated and not sleeved stainless steel. So jack stays is just importance, needs to be mounted on the deck for the offshore races only. From the moment when boats are leaving the docks, and this is basically the only difference. Someone was asking between the offshore and inshore races. The only difference is all the rules are applying equally. The only thing on inshore races, you don't need to have jack stays mounted on the deck. Clipping point shall be adjusted to the stations, such as helm, sheet reaches, and must enable the crew member to clip before coming on the deck and unclip after going below. Question before was about the storm sail areas, storm jib and heavy weather jib. So basically, you need for the category 3 heavy weather jib, where area is printed on the certificate. So you need a heavy weather jib with area not bigger than what is printed on the certificate, and the trysail. Or you may have the trysail or mainsail reefing to reduce the luff by at least 40%. And also from the experience of all the checks we do, reducing the luff for at least 40% is quite a lot. It's second reef, maybe sometimes can be a third reef. So my general recommendation would be that most boats will opt for a trysail, and it's probably easier. Otherwise, if you have this mainsail and say that it will be reduced for 40%, we will need to measure to understand if it is reduced. And also, if you have 2 mainsails on boat, both needs to have this possibility to be reduced for 40%. Storm trysail shall have no headboard, no buttons, and the material of body of the storm sail after 2013 shall have highly visible color. They go pink, orange, or yellow. And as said, storm and heavy weather sails shall be measured. There is a question, I think someone.
Yeah, from Luis Martinez.
Yes, shall the sails has to be carried on board in the windward leeward races?
Basically, yes, because they are part of the safety equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Emergency tiller is needed. There are some exceptions for when it is not needed when the principal method of steering is by means of unbreakable metal tiller, when there have 2 methods by controlling rudder, neither of which share components with the other except for the rudder stock. So basically, particularly in the boats with the 2 wheels, 2 rudders, when you have the system that can, if one is broken, can independently work with other, then the emergency tiller is not needed. But otherwise, you need the emergency tiller. So this conclude briefly, the safety equipment list. Again, Matteo, put my email. If you have any specific questions, please send me an email, and then I will review and reply. Again, simply please take the checklist, check that you have everything. The more you do from your side, it will be easier for you and for us. What we are checking after the racing. So on the water, we will have the technical committee members present, and then randomly we will simply check approach with the RIB, ask for to check the presence of event stickers on the sails on board, the position of the items recorded in the measurement inventory, and major OSR compliance, such as tension of the lifelines. This will be probably quick check of not more than 5 minutes, just to, on the random selected boat. At the dock, we will have in each class check the first boat for flotation, second boat for the measurement check for the sails, and the crew weighing will be for the third boat in each class. This will be based on the results at the moment when we make decision which boats will be checked. This criteria shall be then applied at the end of each racing day, except one if you checked on the first day for flotation, next day you may be checked for the sails or the crew weight or vice versa, or you will basically not be checked 2 times for the same thing. However, independently from the results or any technical committee always can check on some boat either when there is a measurement protest or when there is something that can be seen as unusual or possibly not in compliance with the rule. But generally we will follow the schedule as described. Pablo wants to say something.
Thank you, Zoran. Just what you just said, does it mean that one boat can be one day called for inclining, next day the same boat called for crew weight, and after the same boat called for sails? What cannot we do everything in a boat for day, and the boat is free? I mean, because at the end,
because I understand, but because by doing this we actually can, our intention is to check as much as possible that by the end of the regatta, within the top 5 or top 10 boats, someone is checked for something. If we just focus on one boat, then if we check the boat on the first day, then it's
Zoran, we in Copa del Rey every year we check many boats and we do everything. It's just to keep the boat. Okay, we need to rigor it every day, checking one thing today, maybe tomorrow. I mean, I'm not the chef in the technical committee, but I don't think this is the way to do it.
I'm telling Pablo, I'm telling what has been the standard procedure at the ORC Championship so far in last 7 or 8 years, and did not have major problems with this. I think that our intention is to do as many as possible different checks on different boats. And frankly, I believe that if you check the one boat on the first day and then everything is okay, then almost that boat can say, okay, I don't care now, I'm checked, so I don't care. But by doing this, we have more strict control, and every boat shall know that can be basically checked in every moment. That it's not just once you pass one and then you don't care what's going on. So I believe that the procedure that we are using so far has been proven that is working. Maybe it was slightly different, I agree, in the Copa del Rey, but I think that we can test it, and then we can see it. And as I said, I believe that for us it's important to check more boats and to check more things. Yeah. So what can be the result of the post-race inspection? If the technical committee finds the boats that do not comply with ORC, it shall protest the boat, and it may protest the boat for an infringement of the special race. So the flotation check will start with the freeboard measurements. If the freeboard measurements are okay, we will always do the test certificate, check the difference in APH. If the difference is bigger, then boats will, if the difference is less than 0.1%, the boat is considered in compliance. And if it is greater, then inclining test we will complete, and then the new certificate will be issued after the complete stability and flotation measurement. If there is a difference between greater than 0.1%, technical committee will protest the boat, and the ORC rule 305.2 will be applied. What is the ORC rule 305? ORC rule 305 set up the 4 levels of defining the compliance with certificate. In the rating boats and the rating system, compliance with the certificate is defined with a difference in your rating, not in the measurement itself. So basically, whatever check we are doing after with the new measurement we are taking, we rerun the test certificate. If the difference is less than equal than 0.1% of the APH, everything is okay, and boat is considered to be in a compliance with certificate. If the difference is more than 0.1 but less or equal than 0.25%, there should be a protest, but there will be no penalty, but new certificate will be issued based on the new measurement data, and all the races will be scored with the new certificate. I also remind everyone that someone can maybe think how it's very small change between 0.1 and 0.25%, but the fact is that many ORC events are actually, the races are decided in just of 1 or 2 seconds in a corrected time, and this 1 or 2 seconds can easily change the position. So 0.1 to 0.25% is, as said, no penalty, but new certificate. If the difference is more than 0.25 but less than 0.4, then the scoring penalty of 50% of the score for did not finish shall apply, and new certificate will be issued, and all the races will be rescored. And if the difference is more than 0.40%, the boat is disqualified and cannot continue race unless she put the boat back to the compliance with the certificate. I think there is someone raised the hand.
Yeah, question from Luis.
For point C and D, it will be, for example, for the option D, disqualified for that day or that date and the previous days.
For all the races when the boat was found with not in compliance with certificate.
For example, if it's a second day and a boat is found that is, I don't know, 0.35, 0.4. That second day will be disqualified. Well, let's say if it's 0.45, this boat will be disqualified in the 3 or 2 races that day, but not the first day.
No, if we can establish that boat was not complying with her certificate in the first day also, then we'll be disqualified in the first day also. So we need to understand how boat is not complying with the certificate. If we know that boat was not complying with the certificate in all these races, then the penalty should be applied to all the races where the boat did not comply with the certificate.
Okay, thank you.
No. As mentioned before, if the crew weight is found greater than the maximum or smaller than the minimum, the technical committee will protest the boat. Please note that any infringement related to the crew weight is not considered as an issue of compliance with certificate, and as described before, comparison with the APH. It's simply the decision of the protest committee or jury can be maybe disqualification in all races where crew weight was not in the range given in the certificate. So, for example, the question that you just put now, if you check the crew weight and get the crew weight on second day over the number recorded in the certificate, and we know that on the first day, for example, that same crew was sailing with 1 person less, then this penalty will be applied only to the races where the rule was broken. And also, as said, the principle of any declaring the crew weight is the same as anything that is on the certificate that can be declared by the owner, like use of asymmetric spinnaker tacked on the center line only, or adjusting the mast foot while racing. So these items are declared by the owner, and therefore are responsibility of the owner to be complied. And if anything was found not in that the rule was not followed, then again it's not a question of rerunning certificate and check and comparing the APH. It's simply yes or no for all the items that are declared by the owner. What can be modified during the championship? Crew changes once as was also asked before, and as I was explaining, but maybe good to remember. So once the entry is accepted, each boat shall submit the crew list that shall include all crew members who will be on the boat at the start of the first race. After the first race, changes in the crew, adding new crew members, replacing or disembarking crew members shall be notified to the race office. Then crew changes will be automatically approved provided crew weight after the changes within the limits. The only limitation is that the substitute crew member shall not be aboard on any other competing boat through the remainder of the series. So if any one crew member goes out from the boat, can only go back to the same boat. He cannot get from boat A to boat B by the end of the series. And of course, any changes that are in the crew weight, you always have to remember that after the change, the crew weight shall remain within the class limits. Equipment change or substitution and damaged or lost equipment is not allowed unless authorized by the technical committee. Request for the substitution shall be made at the first reasonable opportunity. And if it includes the sales damage beyond the report, then the technical committee needs to inspect the sales and to understand that sales is damaged beyond repair. Any other also equipment, anything that may be broken or requested or spinnaker pole or whatever, it needs to be reported and requested to the technical committee. This concludes my presentation. So the final is if you have any final questions, I hope that I try to answer all the possible and remove any doubts. I know that there is probably has been quite a lot of information, and I know that sometimes there are limitations of this online presentation, and if we are all together, it will probably be much easier. I hope that I answered your question, but now there is also the possibility, if you have any other questions related to this or related to
there's
other
a question from Christian
Yeah.
Jäger, and also Luis is asking if we can share this presentation.
This is just maybe more to the organizers in Copa del Rey. Regarding the charts, quite often when you have the ORC championships, it's a shortage of charts because you want the chart of the local bay. I don't know if there's going to be any support from the yacht club maybe to have the right charts in place and direction where they could be bought or whatever. So we get the right charts.
I don't know, probably someone from the club can answer. But basically, you know, the question, which charts you need to have, the charts that are obviously that are covering the area where the race are planned, and be more or less.
Yeah, that's but it's the availability of those charts once we get there, so that they don't run out.
Just a question about yes, I will put first of all the recording of this meeting will be available, and also I can make available the PowerPoint using presentation for sure. Absolutely no problem.
Yeah. Zoran, a couple of questions in the chat. One is about the cruiser racer and minimum number of cockpit seats. Asking if this is a reason for protest.
That's a quite that's actually a good question that I probably maybe skip to mention that the technical committee will also review the boats that are classified as a cruiser racer As you probably know, currently even on the page 4, there are listed all the requirements of the cruiser racer, and we will review if we believe that anything is wrong with this. We may require the certificates to be reissued. Of course, for anything that any boat thinks that the other boat does not comply for any reason, it's always possibility to do protest. And but also in the case of protest on the cruiser racer regulation, the principle is again to rerun the certificate and to see the APH difference. Sometimes the APH difference with the cruiser racer can be very small, sometimes can be in this range 0.1 to 0.25%, sometimes can be bigger. But nevertheless, this will be something that we will be checking during the pre-race equipment inspection, because on the papers that we are approaching the boat, we will have these requirements, and if any boat are, for example, missing the seats in the cockpit or missing the table in the saloon or missing any other items, just to remind everyone, the requirements for cruiser racer are defined in IMS Appendix 1, and to get the cruiser racer designation, you need to comply with every requirement. That is, if you are missing one thing out of this, the boat cannot be considered as cruiser racer. That one thing can be number of berths, can be number of seats in the cockpit, can be just a table, and therefore we will be also checking this.
Couple of questions in the chat. Pep Moral is asking if it's possible to change the skipper as a crew member during the race, and also if the skipper has to be the skipper for the whole race.
Yes, the answer is yes. There is no any rule that requires the one person to physically hold the helm all the races. Obviously, someone has to be designated and registered as a skipper, but there is no rule requiring that one person shall helm the boat all the time.
And also EDS would like the confirmation that if you have a mainsail reachable to 40%, you don't have to carry the trysail.
It confirmed yes with the 40%, but again, if you have two mainsails, both needs to be reachable to 40%.
And Nico has a question.
Yeah. There is any other? Nico.
Could you clarify the topic about emergency water? In a previous presentation of yours, you have stated
Yes.
that it's needed, but in this presentation you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. Basically, maybe I should put some slightly light disclaimer. I mean, I went through all the items that are, normal during the hour checks, but this does not mean that any other rule of OSR does not apply. And yes, there is a rule about the emergency water that you need to have, which frankly I will not give you now from my head. I will also have to check exactly, but yes, the rule it is required.
And Julian has a
Thank you.
question, I guess.
Yes, I think this is very controversial, but
Yeah.
if you put the mast foot not that you cannot move, how you control that if you don't use it during the race? So you have to just do it before race, then unplug the mast foot, then you plug it. How you control that?
Yes, I know this rules has been discussed a lot, and we had submission and discussion probably, I don't know for how long in the last AGM before the rule was updated. Basically, how the rule is updated is that first of all it is mandatory from the owner if to declare if the mast base will be adjusted while racing, and also it's the obligation on the owner to prove that it was not used if it is not declared. So if there is any protest or something, or mostly let's say protest from the boat or from other boat, then if this was not recorded in the certificate, then the owner has obligation to prove that was not.
So can you help us to say how you can prove that? A photo, a video? How you
Yeah,
can prove just
yes. I mean, you can
strip in the mass jacket. So how you
yeah,
can
you
prove
can,
that?
you can prove that you disconnected the hydraulic system or something and say, look, it was disconnected and I could not use it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Because the rule, the problem with this rule is that it limits the use of adjusting the mast base while racing. Because you may say, aha, okay, I will do this, but while not racing, in between races or something, which is allowed. And the only way that the rule can address this is to have the declaration by the owner and adding this as just to the other declaration, just as I said, as a crew weight and use, for example, use of asymmetric spinnaker on the center line only, and to put the obligation on the owner to decide that it was not used.
Okay, we will do our best. Thanks.
I hope so. Yeah. Thank you. Other questions, Matteo?
No more questions in chats.
No questions in chat. Do we have anyone from the club, Vivi, or someone wants to have kind of
Yes.
final word?
Here we are. Thank you very much for the clarification, and I hope it has helped a lot of all the sailors to get ready for the Europeans. Thank you, Zoran and Matteo, and everybody who has assisted.
Thank you all again. I'm looking forward to meet you all in 2 weeks' time, probably. And I'm pretty much sure it will be a great event with all the number of votes and with all the experience and the team that Real Club Nautico Palma have. We are really looking forward to one of the best European championships so far.
Grazie mille.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.